This is Local 15 Law Call.
Hello everybody, welcome to Law Call. We've got the answers to your legal questions. Here's what's coming up tonight. Tonight we're talking about all kinds of personal injury claims. If your medical bills are piling up after an accident and you don't know what to do, give us a call at 877-622-1548. If you can't afford to talk to a lawyer about your injury claim, well, think again. Later in the show, we'll explain why most personal injury lawyers will talk to you for free. Now, the first attorney, Bill Island from the law firm Island Ritchie, is here to talk about a very special anniversry tonight. Your 10th anniversary.
That's right. Actually, 10 years to the day we started. It was March 13, 2006.
Wow.
And so we've been going strong for, it's been 10 years. And a friend of mine actually asked me today, he's like, did you see yourself doing this for 10 years? Honestly, I didn't see us doing it the next week.
Wow.
But it's been good, and we've got a lot of support out there. A lot of people follow us, and it's been a good 10 years, and hopefully we'll continue, and hopefully we're doing some good. And so, but it's been a great 10 years, and so we're still happy to be going strong.
And what do you see the significance of this date? I mean, I know that it's something you're celebrating, but obviously you've helped out a lot of people.
Well, I'll leave that for the people to decide, how much we've helped. But we've had a wonderful response. We got asked to do this. It was kind of, it's one of those old sayings, it's not what you know, it's who you know. When the TV station 10 years ago decided to do this, they had a list of about 20 or 25 law firms that might be interested in doing this, and apparently there was a vetting process where they went through all these law firms. And at that time, my little law firm, no one really knew who we were. But again, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And one of the assistant general managers of the TV station at the time, he and I went to high school and together.
Oh, okay.
And so when they were going through all these names, somehow my name got mentioned, and they brought us in, tried us out, and so again,
we put something together.
You don't have to be smart; you just have to know somebody.
That's right.
Right.
Well, we put a little retrospective back here today so folks can take a look.
Oh boy, I don't know if I want to see this.
Law Call for the very first time. Let's take a look.
This is NBC 15 Law Call, with host Mike Rush and guidance from the personal injury law firm of Island and Ritchie. Mobile attorneys Bill Island and Alan Ritchie have more than 2 decades of combined legal and trial experience. Your rights, your calls, live. NBC 15 Law Call.
Joining me tonight is probably the best lawyer in town. Is that what you wanted me to say? The
That's
best
fine,
lawyer
yeah.
in town.
Checks in the
Just a
mail.
champion
That's great.
in the courtroom, just a legal eagle on every front. It is Bill Island with the law firm of Island and Ritchie. Tell us, this is our premiere show.
You're giving me a lot to live up to.
That's right, and this is our first show, so
That's right.
This is your honeymoon period till next week. Be ready.
Okay.
Tell us what the show's about, what we're hoping to accomplish here.
Well, Mike, every day we have clients come into the office that are absolutely scared to death of the legal process. They don't know what to expect. We hope that this show each and every week will help ease some of that intimidation and, help the process with these people looking for a lawyer.
Sarah has moved on to St. Louis. That's right.
It's about 10 years and about 20 pounds ago. So.
All right. Well, the best lawyer in town and one of the best reporters, Mike Rush, is a good friend.
Yeah, no, he was wonderful. He hosted the show for about probably 6 or 7 years, and then he moved on. I think he's still in St. Louis.
That's right.
But no, it just kind of goes to show you how things change. But no, we're still happy to do it, and hopefully we can continue. And tonight, I'll go ahead and bring our guest in. Tonight we're talking all about injuries, and Joe Zarzaur. Joe's been a really
You're not going to show anything 10 years ago on me, are you?
No.
Okay,
no.
good.
You actually look better now than you did 10 years ago.
Yeah. Let's not go back and check
right.
that,
But
please.
no, Joe's a good friend of the show's been coming on ever since we started. Joe is our Pensacola expert, our Florida expert, and Joe's going to be coming on a lot more in the future, and we're extremely happy to have him. But tonight we're talking about injuries. So, just I guess an example, the other night we had 6 calls to come in, and 4 of them were from Florida. So we don't give Florida enough, exposure. And so Joe's our Pensacola expert, and so we're happy to have him.
Expert's not a descriptor I
you're
like.
Florida lawyer.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
one big home. Florida and Mobile, Pensacola, we're all
Right,
one big
right.
Gulf Coast home.
Right.
So we're
Two
glad
different
you-
states. Yep. Glad to be here. Thank you.
All right.
But and Joe,
And
tell us-
congratulations, by the way.
Well, thank you.
It's 10th
That's a big
anniversary.
deal.
Yeah. Well, tell us, obviously probably one of the biggest differences in Alabama. Alabama has a 2-year statute of limitations. Florida has a 4-year. Is that correct?
That's right.
So just tell the people a little bit about, it doesn't necessarily mean where you live, but where the accident occurred.
Well, it's not even that sometimes. Florida has a 4-year statute of limitations, and it is really based on this significant relationship, and gets into legal jargon, but you can actually have a wreck in Alabama, and I've had one, but everybody in the wreck and all the doctors that are treating the client are from Florida. You can actually have Florida law apply to a wreck that happens just over the line in Alabama, because the test is, what relationship does the state have to the controversy?
Right.
And if Florida's test is significant relationship, and if you can prove to a judge that Florida has the most significant relationship with a controversy or a case, then the jurisdiction, the law of Florida, can be applied to that case, even though it happens in Alabama,
Right.
which is a very strange thing to think about, but that has happened, and that is the way it's done.
And the bottom line is, it's confusing. I mean, it's confusing, to the layperson. It's confusing to lawyers. I mean, you're sitting here, giving
Confused.
right. and so the bottom line is, if someone is involved in an accident, don't go at it alone. Try to speak to someone. Talk to a lawyer, whether it be Alabama, Mississippi, Florida. Talk to someone to get some advice before you proceed, because the people on the other side, the insurance companies, the adjusters, they know what they're doing. And hopefully this is the first time that you've ever been involved in a situation like this. And hopefully you don't know what you're doing, because that means you've not been involved in this before. But again, the person on the other side, this is what they do for a living. And so when they're calling you, wanting to take a recorded statement and get information, they are doing nothing but trying to help their position and their side. So speak to someone before you go about doing anything, because you may not need a lawyer, but you need to at least speak to someone before you do anything.
Well, Bill, we have Charlotte on the line with a question, and again, we're talking about injuries tonight. Charlotte.
Hey there.
Hi.
Hey, Charlotte.
I was injured at a local hospital by a nurse giving me something I was allergic to, and I had found an attorney, or my son and my friend found an attorney, and then the lawyer sent all the paperwork back, and I can't find, I've been searching for a long time, and I can't find a malpractice attorney.
Okay. Joe, you want to talk about that?
She's not in my ear at all.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, basically, I think she got the maybe wrong medicine. She was in the hospital, and the nurse gave her something that she had a reaction to, and she just wants to know whether she has a potential medical negligence claim or not.
Yeah. Yes. Anytime you get something happens, a medical mistake, a nursing mistake, and you suffer an injury from that, the key issue for any lawyer looking at the case is, did you suffer an injury from the provision of the medicine that was not supposed to be given to you? And the issue comes down to this. A lawyer is going to talk to you about this and say, all right, is it worth bringing a case over this? Because yes, is it medical negligence that somebody gave you the wrong medicine? Absolutely. But is it actionable medical negligence? That's the question the lawyer has to decide. And many times people are negligent in and out of a hospital, and it's not actionable. In other words, it doesn't make economic sense. Since lawyers like Bill and I take cases on a contingency fee, we front the money for these cases, and if the end result is not going to be at least as much as we put in a medical malpractice cases cost sometimes into the 6 figures, it's not worth pursuing. But what you should do is talk to a lawyer that does medical malpractice cases. Make sure you ask them that and say, here's the situation, and they're probably going to ask you what your doctor has said about what's happened to you since you had the medicine and whether or not it's permanent.
All right, thank you, Joe. We'll be right back. We have more questions. We're handling injuries tonight. We'll be right back.
Weekday mornings, wake up to the local news team you trust. Wake up to the morning show that gets you motivated. Wake up to a morning forecast you can plan your day by. Weekday mornings, wake up to us. Wake up to Local 15 today.
With the winds from the south at 17 miles per hour.
Who's not hooked on Church's seafood? Hurry into Church's and try 2 lemon seasoned crispy fish fillets with small fries and 3 hush puppy biscuit bites for just $3. Have the love.
Introducing new KY Touch Gel Creme for massage and intimacy. Every touch gently intensified. A little touch is all it takes. KY Touch.
This is what precision looks like, helping you see what's hard to see, thanks to Terrain Denali's Side Blind Zone Alert that uses radar to watch your blind spots. So it's true, Mom does have eyes in the back of her head. The new, meticulously crafted 2016 Terrain Denali from GMC. This is the precision of professional grade. Or current lessees switch to GMC and get this low-mileage lease on this Terrain SLE1 for around $199 per month for 24 months.
At Church's, we know feeding your family is a big deal. That's why you'll get a big deal on our lovingly prepared small batch chicken. Get 9 crispy hand-battered legs and thighs or tender strips for just $8.99. But hurry, a deal this big won't last long. Have the love.
Blake and Gwen's family weekend with her kids and Inside Bachelor Ben's final rose drama next. ET.
Monday at 6:30 on Local 15. Welcome back to Local 15 Law Call with host and award-winning broadcaster Andrea Ramey, plus guidance from the Alabama personal injury law firm of Island & Ritchie. Island & Ritchie, with millions of dollars awarded to its clients. Attorney Bill Island, born and raised in Mobile. He used to work for the insurance companies. Now he fights against them, helping injured people across the Gulf Coast. And legal insight from attorney Jason Steele. Now, your rights, your calls, live. Local 15 Law Call.
I'm James Gordon. Andrea Ramey is off tonight. Lawyers take a lot of flack for the amount of money they receive after a successful verdict, but most people don't fully understand the system. Jason Steele explains contingency fees in tonight's legal brief.
Under a contingency fee arrangement, a lawyer agrees to take a case without any money up front. In return, the lawyer is entitled to a percentage of the amount of money collected if the case is successful, usually about 1/3. Lawyers who take cases on a contingency basis take a big risk. These attorneys must front the cost of litigation themselves. Sometimes this can amount to thousands or even millions of dollars. If the case is lost, the lawyer is paid nothing. That's right, nothing. The contingency fee system ensures that injured people who couldn't otherwise afford a lawyer are able to have their day in court. It's a system that allows blue-collar, injured people to hire attorneys to take on the richest and most powerful corporations in the country. Eliminating contingency fees would effectively strip the keys to the courthouse from the average citizen. That's your legal brief for tonight. I'm personal injury attorney Jason Steele. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Jason. Tonight, the questions are all about injury, so call us at 1-877-622-1548. Do we have a viewer question? I guess not yet. Okay.
Not yet, but
we're waiting on some calls. Okay.
Yeah, and Joe, what I wanted to ask you is, as far as getting back to statute of limitations, as far as negligence and medical malpractice, is it the same or is it different?
Well, it is the same number of years,
okay,
but it happens to be a little different process in Florida. Florida, thanks to some Republican politicians, have passed some barriers to medical malpractice cases that Alabama doesn't have.
Right.
They're called pre-suit requirements, and in order to file a medical malpractice case in Florida, you actually have to go through a pre-suit process where you, the theory is you give the opportunity of the doctor or the hospital to actually settle the case. The flip side of that is they also make sure that you have an affidavit from a board-certified physician who practices the same kind of medicine, so that all the claims are already vetted before they're even filed.
Right.
So,
I have a question. I
a
know
big
that we see the airwaves of television and radio flooded with commercials and things from different attorneys who do your kind of work. And my question is, are there really that many people out there suffering those kind of injuries? I mean, it just seems like, goodness, are there that many people?
You wouldn't think so,
Yeah.
but they're obviously, the market sort of predicts that stuff. You know, it's like everything else in the world. There's all kinds of newscasters, right? There's all kinds of anchor people, but there's really good ones that hopefully separate themselves from the rest. Florida does have a system, unlike Alabama, where you can actually differentiate yourself from the mass. You can go through a board certification process in Florida and become board certified in your area of specialty. This is civil trial work. Only 1% of Florida lawyers have board certification, so you're driving down the road and 99% of the lawyers are advertising may not be board certified. So the bar in Florida does go do a little bit more to educate the public on what to look for.
Yeah. And look, the bottom line is, and you know, without stepping on toes here, because obviously, you know, we're all, you know, this is what we do for a living, but especially here in Mobile, the great majority, a lot of the lawyers that you see that advertise here in Mobile, that a lot of them are from out of state, and if they're not from out of state, they are from out of the city and out of the county. You're not going to get the person, and in some cases, you don't really want that person, but you're not going to get that individual, you know, that is advertising on TV. It is a lot of these firms now have become kind of like a superstore. It's become kind of the Walmart's.
Clearinghouse.
Yes, it's a clearinghouse where they are advertising. They're trying to get cases in, and then they're sending their cases to other lawyers in their respective towns. There are several lawyers that advertise here in Mobile. My daughter actually goes to college outside of Orlando, Florida, and recently I had to go down and we went to, her mother and I, we went to go see her, and I saw billboards that you see here in Mobile all over the place. They were all the way down to Jacksonville, Florida, down into Orlando, and then a friend of mine actually recently traveled to Houston, Texas. They're all the way to Houston, and it's not just one particular lawyer. There are 2 or 3 firms that you see that are inundated here in Mobile, and again, that person is they live hours and hours and hours away, and so, you know, before you pick up the phone and hire a lawyer, find out from your neighbor, your friends, your church, find out who lives here, find out, you know, who would be best for your case, because you know, what you see is not always what you get.
Well, you want the best representation, of course.
Right.
Now, Willie is on the line. Willie has a question.
Hey, Willie. Willie?
Hello?
There you
go.
Man.
Yeah, I have a question about a fall in a store, where something was wasted on the floor.
Okay.
And I want to see what the attorney say about that.
All right, well, Willie, let me ask you a question. Do you know what it was you slipped and fell on?
Yeah, it was grease.
It was grease?
Yeah.
What kind of grease?
Cooking oil.
What's that?
Cooking oil.
Okay. And was this in a grocery store?
Right.
Okay. Joe, did you get that?
Yep.
Okay. You want to take it, or?
Willie, was this in Alabama or Florida?
Alabama.
All right. Well, it's a slip and fall case, and you've probably heard that phrase before. Alabama has a little different, tougher law on these kind of cases than Florida. Alabama has a thing called contributory negligence, and that gives the store owner the option to argue basically that you should have noticed where you were walking, and so it's a tough situation. I will tell you that most places have cameras these days, and if that grease had been on the floor for a while and you can't tell in the camera that it's there, it would go a long way to help your case. Again, just like the other caller though, the extent of your injury is a really important thing, and you didn't comment on that, so it's hard for me to know what's happening, but you need to talk with a lawyer that can evaluate the hazard, how long it was there, and your injury, and to decide whether it makes sense for you to pursue it. Keep in mind, in Alabama, there's only 2 years to pursue that case.
Yeah, and like Joe said, when we always talk about statute of limitations in 2 years, that means you have 2 years from the date of that accident to either settle your claim or to file a lawsuit. If you do not do either one of those things, it's just like your case never happened. You can't, the day after your 2-year anniversary, go back and say, oh, I want to do something. It's too late. It's just like it never happened. So Willie, get with it now. Speak to someone to see if you have a claim.
All right, thank you for that great advice. If you did get your question tonight, email it to us anytime at lawcall@local15tv.com. We'll be right back.
That's 501.
501, yeah. It's a penny, a penny.
Now that's a pleasant surprise. Just like finding out that with Direct Auto and Life Insurance, you can get a low rate and great services without a credit check at Direct.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The biggest thrills start at 0. Now during the spring sales event at your Southern Ford dealer, get 0% financing, 60 months on a new Ford, driven by innovation. Let the fun begin in America's best-selling brand. Get 0 for 60 plus 2,000 trade assist cash on Fusion and Escape, or 4,000 total savings with a tech package. Only at your local Southern Ford dealer.
This tradition definitely started with the honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich. Me and my friends always went to Whataburger. We started putting out flyers saying Whataburger Social. Meet in the lobby, and it just started becoming a big thing. I'm all about the honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich. It's got that barbecue flavor, the cheese melts on top. It's my go-to sandwich. My best memory was trying to get everybody in the pictures. One week it was 8, 15, 24, we got up to 65 people. This tradition's all about good food, fun, and honey barbecue chicken strip sandwich.
Hey, Dad! Dad! Learn about the animals of America. Receive a free 4-pack of cards for every $20 spent in store. Hurry! Limited time offer. Only at Winn-Dixie.
It's truck month, and you will save big when you let Terry Thompson take you home in a new Chevy truck.
And now save $10,000 on a great selection of new Chevy Silverado crew cabs. That's $10,000 in savings.
At Terry Thompson Chevrolet in Daphne.
That's 501.
501, yeah. It's a penny, a penny.
Now that's a pleasant surprise. Just like finding out that with Direct Auto and Life Insurance, you can get a low rate and great services without a credit check at Direct.
There you go, March 20th. We'll follow with Law Call. We'll be talking about taxes in the law. March 27th, underage drinking. And next month, April 3rd, crime and punishment. Always an interesting show. And you can call us with your questions, email us as well. And of course, if you have any additional questions for our guest, Joe Zarzaur, you can reach him at 855-447-3568 or on the web at www.zarzaurlaw.com, right? Okay. And we've got several callers on the line, and one of them is Patsy. She's from Daphne. And Daphne, Patsy has a question for both of our attorneys this evening.
All right.
Yes.
Hey, Patsy.
Hi.
Hey there.
Yes, I was wondering, one of my relatives, actually it was my mother, was involved in a car accident along with a child and a couple of other people, and one of them hired an attorney like you were just speaking about off of the TV.
Right.
So anyway, to make a long story short, we couldn't get any phone calls back, hardly ever. They were just conversing with one person, and my mother sustained injuries from that. She also had damaged her hearing aids, which she has profound hearing, which she is going around without right now. But we recently faxed the attorney and fired them. So how does that work? Once you fire someone, I mean, the accident happened in mid-January,
right.
And they were going to this attorney specific, where they sent everybody to the same doctor and everything. And
right.
So I just don't know how that works. What do we do? I mean, does he get fees or what?
Right.
I just don't know.
Joe, you want that?
Sure. To answer your immediate question, does he get fees? He or she will be entitled to file an attorney's lien for fees up until the time that the case is they're released. Okay, Depending on how much they've done, courts generally sort of try to figure out, if it were to go that far, how much time he or she spent in the case, and then try to compensate him based on that, or her based on that. Since it's a contingency fee, though, that won't be dealt with until the case for your mom is over with. Once it's over with, the new lawyer has to deal with the old lawyer and figure out, all right, how much here, how much there. So that's really a problem for the new lawyer. You need to hire somebody that you get not off the TV necessarily, but somebody that you know has done this kind of work for years and is got a really good reputation in the community, Baldwin County, Mobile County, that kind of thing, for this kind of wreck.
Yeah, and this happens all the time. I'm sure you've got a bunch of cases now that started with another law firm. I know that my firm, we have many cases that started with one lawyer. One lawyer, but then somehow they made their way over, to our law firm. And we typically, what we normally tell our clients is, because that's the first thing they want to know, are they going to have to pay a percentage to one lawyer and then a percentage to the other lawyer, and then therefore there's not going to be anything to be left over. And that's not the case. Typically, the new lawyer that you hire is going to work something out with the other lawyer. It's all going to be okay, and it'll all work out. And so, the bottom line is, if you're not happy with the person that you're with, life's too short to sit there and hang out with someone that you don't want to be with. So go ahead. If you made the switch, it'll all work out.
Right. You want the right lawyer and to take care of your issue. Now, we have one more caller. Is that right? Is George still on the line? Oh, George was there. Yeah. He's gone now.
Okay. Yeah. But Joe, just real quick, we've got about 45 seconds. What's the first thing if somebody's involved in an accident, whether it be a car wreck or slip and fall or on the job accident? What's the first thing that you would suggest that they do?
Go to the doctor and
right.
Don't worry about lawyers. How about that?
Right.
Go and take care of your situation just like lawyers didn't exist. That's what I would tell you to do. Once you're stable, or your families can do this for you, as soon as you can, and your health is stable, then reach out to a lawyer. In Florida, you want to look for a board-certified lawyer, civil trial lawyer. In Alabama, you want to hear it from somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
We'd like to please join Bill tomorrow on Local 15 News at noon, and please join us next Sunday for the news and for Law Call as well. Have a good night.
We can't save too much money because we are in debt. Working with